introduction of skit making in Nigeria, let's be honest. I mean, I've even been tempted to start acting for you, but no, we're not there yet. We've witnessed a massive number of content creators in comedy. I mean, I've started to think like everyone has a comedy streak in them. There's a sense of humor just hidden down there somewhere. Now, while this is definitely welcome development in order to have a variety in the entertainment industry, many have also pointed out that, listen, most skate makers are now making stand-up comedy look weak. Like, they're making it look like if you do stand-up, like you're not as funny or you're not as talented. But the reality is, before social media, Instagram, TikTok, and all the funny jokes we see on social media, there were people who would stand in front of a crowd. I mean, hundreds of people, hold a microphone, sometimes with a chair, sometimes without, and they will just talk and crack jokes and make people laugh. And there's so many people like that. TA happens to be one of those, and he joins me on Arise 360 right about now. TA, look at us, first of all. This is an inside joke, but I mean, isn't it crazy that we're here right now?
I know precisely what you're talking about, Kachi. Nice to finally be on Arise TV. In Nigeria, that is. I
know, because I mean, we've done this outside Nigeria, and I'm just like, TA, what was all this? You have to come into the studio, but great again to have you in here. Now, TA, let's just touch on the industry as a whole. I was just talking about Mohbad, and it's ironic because before I started talking about Mohbad, last week I had the Stalker on Arise 360. I'm sure everyone saw his Honest Bunch interview, and I had him on the show because I'm not one to just follow the crowd and what everyone else is saying. I want to hear you say it on the platform so I can defend what it is that you said. And he said a lot about the comedy industry. And TA, you've been doing this for a while. You haven't even stopped doing it. You're still in it, you know, but you've managed to maintain your light. I've met you one-on-one. We've chilled, like we've sat down, we've had conversations. You still have your light, and by have your light, I mean the industry has not yet spoiled you. Let me put it that way. But you've been in this longer than a lot of the people that are still here. How does that happen for you? How?
Honestly, let me say thank you for the kind words. Also, let me also, before we even delve into that, let me once again, you know, pay respect and, you know, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough time in the industry. The industry is going through a lot right now, but I mean, condolences to fans, family, and all entertainment and music lovers out there on, you know, Mohbad's death. That's definitely not the way or the time or the manner in which a young talent should exit. There's so much. It's a lot. But you know, my heart goes out to the family, to the wife, to the newborn baby. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm glad that the authorities are really weighing in heavily into it right now. So I'm positive, like all other Nigerians, that at the end of the day, you know, this might be the revolution that the industry needs. This might be, you know, the awakening call that we've always been talking about the Nigerian entertainment industry, that we need structure, we need this, we need that. But, you know, there's always a catalyst at some point in time. So I believe that, you know, I mean, this might also be one of those catalysts that would actually help sanitize the industry, particularly the music space. I'm not into music. I do not do a lot of music business. So I don't even really have a fair understanding of that, how that industry goes or how it's going. But some of the revelations I've been hearing, I've just been like, wow, this same industry, wow, how? You know, because comedy is different. I mean, in comedy, we tend to see ourselves more as brothers, as friends, as guys. And when there's a dispute, you know, we try to manage it amongst ourselves. And, you know, some people can be headstrong. Some people may just not get along. And that is fine as well. But, I mean, the kind of things I'm hearing coming out from the music camp now is a lot.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, like I said, personally, I haven't, you know, sleeping has been tough. I'd say that because, you know, there's a way your head cannot comprehend some of the things you hear, and it gives you nightmares. That's how.
Absolutely.
It has been tough. But you mentioned something.
For someone like me,
Please go ahead.
So for someone like me, I'm out there, but I'm hardly out there. You know, a lot of people have the erroneous impression that once you're an entertainer, once you're in the media, you know, like social media is your thing. You're always there. I'm so lukewarm to social media. I just see it as work, as part of my work tools. Once I post, I run off. I rarely even read comments. So when I'm forced to pay attention to social media, I'm amazed at the sort of, you know, things that I'm seeing, sort of reports that I'm lapping up. And I begin to wonder, is this the same industry we started in, or we started with? Is this, you know, I had a lot of musician friends when we were starting out, you know, people from back in the days, the oldies and the youngies. The industry then was much more calmer, saying, I mean, there were rivalries here and there as well, but none as crazy as the madness that I'm reading or seeing right now, you know. And, you know, one of the things that has kept us, a couple of us who have been in the game for quite a while, is that, you know, we know where we're coming from, and we know where we want to get to, or where we are hoping to get to. So, and we acknowledge where we are at this material moment in time. So having your head firmly screwed on your neck is probably a course that, you know, the entertainment industry needs to take, because there's only so much that talent can do. There's only so much that, you know, the industry comes with its own pressure, but, you know, being well-grounded, you know, and at this point, like, being well-grounded, you can't overemphasize the importance of that. Being God-grounded as well is a major thing that we should not really, you know, overlook. I see a lot of young people who want to just blow, make it, and don't become a superstar. And, you know, a couple of years down the line, they're not there anymore because the foundation is weak. The foundation wasn't there. It was just an happenstance. They didn't see it from a career perspective. Some of us took deliberate attempts to, you know, grow our career. We made tough career decisions. We chose different career paths, and we're benefiting from it today. I think I'm talking too much, Kachi.
I don't think you're talking too much, because you just led me to what I wanted to speak to you about next, which is how you started. Now, the industry picks up people from everywhere. There's no monopoly to a specific class or genre of quality of people that the industry takes in. So you have people from the upper echelons of society, you have people from the streets. And I recall something you said back when you were celebrating your 20th anniversary, and you spoke about how if the streets didn't pick you up, you know, and accept what you do, or rather, if people did not take you and accept what you did, you would have still been out there. So take me back to how you started doing what you're doing now, you know, your mentors, the people who trained you, and how that has shaped you into becoming who you are right now.
I mean, that's a long story, actually, because for me, I started out I started out from secondary school. I used to do riddles and jokes back then, you know, in the 80s, early 90s. And it was fun representing my school and doing jokes and doing riddles at lit days and all whatnot. Then I got into university, and I used to be the class clown, and I used to, you know, host, you know, events in the departments and all whatnot. Stand-up comedy was just a thing for me. It was just a thing that I could do effortlessly. And back then, there were not many people that I could look at who were doing stand-up, but the only person that really caught my eye was a young man then called Ali Baba. Ali was on TV doing night shows like this, Night Train with Bisi Latilo, was on the Charlie Boy show. I'm like, this is the person that's doing what I really would want to do. Fast forward a couple of years down the line, I ended up meeting Ali Baba. I ended up meeting Mohamed Danjuma, I think, and I think like OK Bakassi. Back then, when we were doing comedy, you could count Nigerian comedians on one hand. It was Ali, T.A., Ali, Danjuma Mohamed, OK Bakassi, T.A., Basoj, then maybe Julius also joined. So it was just a small family. Julius and Basoj were even more of actors then. OK used to act then, but the people who were really doing stand-up was the late Mohamed Danjuma and Ali Baba. Those are the two that I know. And Ali and I became very close. I remember back in, if you got to a stage when I was on holidays, I never used to go to my own house again. I used to do all my vacation in Ali's house, left school, and we became much closer. We lived together. And, you know, I learned a lot working with Ali. He taught me all the rudiments of the trade, particularly the business. So a lot of people don't know the business part of it. I mean, sometimes we sit down and we navigate like, okay, joke constructions. How do we construct jokes? Okay, if you have this idea, no, add this one to it, finish it like this. We used to sit down and do that. If he has a new material, I will tell you, guy, take on, make I give you this new one. How you see him? You know, we look at, we bounce materials off each other. No competition. If I inspire to get new materials, he's the first person I'm running it by. That bros, look at this idea. How do you see it? And then we just fine tune it, and then we go to perform. And then after a while, Ali started focusing more on the business side, which is, you know, he's made the name, he's made the fame, you know, but he needs to go beyond just doing stand-up. I remember then his movement to television when he wanted to do Tom, Dick and Ali, which was a major, major hit, you know, game show on AIT then. You know, so at every point in time, the man, you know, had, you know, what he wanted to do with his career. And we used to read a lot. We buy books, like not just comedy books, we buy business books. Ali, you know, gingered me from a young age, like in my early 20s then, to read real hard books. You know, and one of the books that I read that changed, you know, my perception was one of Bill Cosby's book, and I read that book, and I was like, you know what? This man has a properly defined career path for himself. He started off with stand-up. Later, he went into sitcom. From sitcom, he started writing. He started producing. From producing, later on, and much later on in life, he started producing children's shows. You know, and then once in a while, he goes on stand-up tours. So predominantly what we do is that we do stand-up, we do shows, and then we keep doing it. Even when you don't have new jokes, you don't have new materials, you keep doing it, and then the audience gets bored, or we wear out the audience. You know, but abroad, they don't do stand-up comedy concert every year. Chris Rock doesn't do a tour every year. Kevin Hart doesn't do a tour every year. When they've written or when they've been commissioned to do a special, they go in, they write, and they do the tour. So it's not like that is the only thing they do, but they're also doing other things like movies. As Chris Rock, over some years, was strictly doing movies. You know, he had his Hollywood movies, and then Kevin Hart as well. Few of them survive strictly doing stand-up. So I said to myself as well, if I want to last in this industry, I need to toe that path. I need to follow the path of people like Ali, people like Bill Cosby, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock.
Even if Bill Cosby got cancelled, Bill Cosby did get cancelled at some point in time.
I mean, it got cancelled for what he did.
For what he did.
But that does not take away the history,
exactly,
the history that he has.
Okay. Now, I want us to touch on social media and its influence with regards to what you do, relating stand-up comedy to skit making. I listened to an Adele interview where Adele said that she doesn't think she's ever going to be a social media person, the person who does TikTok and the likes. And that's the phase we are in now. We're in the social media phase. Everyone is trying to get into that TikTok era because that's the season that we are in. How does what you do continue to thrive, knowing that if it's not on social media, it's possibly not going to be known by a lot of people? Or do you just not feel pressure to engage?
So, we're in the digital age, so social media has come to stay, is pretty much a part of us. While some of us, spent years trying to tour Nigeria, doing stand-up comedy shows from one state to the other, risking our lives on the road, facing all sorts of challenges. In the digital age, it's just a post. You're everywhere, not just within Nigeria, you are everywhere globally. People can reach you. People can, lap what you have to offer. People can enjoy, your creativity. So, it's been a huge difference to what we do. It's made a completely new set of, creatives, skit makers, comedians, and I'm happy for it. We're all happy for it because when we started, like I said, you could count Nigerian comedians like on your hands, like on your 10 fingers like this, you count comedians. But now social media has made everything global. So also, if you want to keep being relevant in the industry, you also have to, toe that part because that's where everyone is going. However, some of us are not consumed by social media because there's also still, the regular platforms. There are the streaming platforms. There are the terrestrial televisions. There is the cable channels. So there's basically a wider market for your content right now as a creative, as a comedian. So if it's not on even the social media, if it's not on TikTok, it's on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, there's so many platforms, and the streaming platforms are there. So it's not like it's a minus. It's really a plus.
I couldn't agree with you more. I agree with you that it's really a plus.
But some of us, like I said, we still identify that even though we will also not be left behind, our content, we will still spread it as wide as we want to, as wide as we wish to. I mean, there are people in Kotangora, there are people in Kebbi, in Ogbomoso, who till tomorrow do not possess anything digital. They still rely on the good old antenna to get television signals. They also deserve to be entertained. So some of us will push content out there, will push events down there, and I think I need to shout out a few people, like someone like my colleague Benga Denka is doing an amazing job touring Southwest Nigeria with stand-up comedy, with stand-up shows. He has Benga Denka's Laugh Matters that he does, just touring the Southwest. Everything must not be in the city centers, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. No, it's a humongous market out there. So the same way skit makers are reaching people globally online, some other people are also doing a lot in terms of, concerts, in terms of touring, in terms of content specifically made for terrestrial stations as well.
Absolutely. Well, TA, we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, I want us to talk about what you're up to right now. What's been happening with TA. We're going to take a break on the show. Stick around. We have some more from comedian TA after the break. Well, let's head back into our Lagos studio. You're welcome back to the show. TA still with me on Arise 360. Now, TA, before I let you go, what's happening with you right now? What are you up to?
Yes.
Are you, just surprise me. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Just surprise me.
Okay, I'm sure that I've been up to, I've been a good boy, so I'm not up to anything that is bad, you know. So I've basically focused on my hosting for the past couple of years. That's what I've been doing, really. Like I said, I discovered that, you know, facing your career is also a good cheat code towards longevity. So I stopped doing my TV shows, stopped doing everything, and just focused on hosting for about 8-9 years now, you know. So, but this year I'm going to be doing a couple of new things. I think I've enjoyed my sabbatical as a presenter, as a producer, as a stand-up comedian. So this year I'm on the 29th of October, I'm having my music concert, which is TA's Rhythm and Blues concert. And the idea basically started off from a couple of clients, you know, people were like, TA, you're not doing shows, you're not doing everything. All these young people, they are doing things, and there's always too rowdy, there's always too something for, can you just organize something mellow for us, like people of our age, like, and I have a lot of them as clients, so I'm like, okay, we don't want all those noisy, like all those Gen Zs. I'm like, I have Gen Z fans too nowadays. I know, we know, but just organize something for us. So I thought of, you know, a chilled kind of evening for, you know, the mature, you know, audience. And we tried it last year, and it was a hit. So we decided, okay, let's continue this year. And it's called the Rhythm and Blues Concert. It's at Echo Hotel on the 29th of October. So that's the major thing now that I have to get out of my way before I now give you what you want, which is, you know, which is the scoop that I've not said anywhere else. So we've written two sitcoms. We've written two sitcoms, two beautiful shows, and I'm going to be going into production late this year and early next year by God's grace. And the icing on the cake for me is my own game show that I'm bringing on as well. I'm not doing Time Out with TA, but I'm coming up with a new game show. But the sitcom, we've even done casting. I believe that people will like it, and that's it in a nutshell, Kachi. So there you have it. I'm going full scale into TV production, going back to TV production as it were.
Well, TA, you are definitely a very, very, very busy man, so I'm going to let you get on with your day. Thank you so much for stopping by Arise 360, finally, you know. It's up to you. But anyway, thanks for stopping by, really.
Thanks, Kachi.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Well.